first thing we're talking about is Mulan.
So we'll say Mulan's the reason, but really, I feel like we're going to talk about why they all exist. I'm kind of glad it flopped because there's this small part of me that just kind of wants Disney to fail in this regard. Because I'll tell you this, I saw The Lion King last year, and I was disappointed.
I like how you said that like it was a hot take. I saw The Lion King last year, and let me just say, didn't like it.
It sucked, yes.
It wasn't good.
But it made $1 billion, which basically proves to Disney that they shouldn't care about making quality movies as long as they could just retell their stories.
The problem with The Lion King, right, was that it didn't add anything to the story. There was nothing new. Like, them making this like a live action, which it wasn't, but even if it was, if they did teach lions to mimic talking and then voice over it, there's nothing really that having real lions would add to the story, and I think that's where Disney lost me. Like, it would be cool if these real characters or whatever, like the real life version of the cartoon characters having a real life equivalent somehow added to the story. Like, I think when they, like, if they were to do Pinocchio and have like a CGI puppet and the land with real people, I know they're going to do Pinocchio, but I'm just saying, I feel like that could add something. Like, this cartoon fake doll wants to be a real boy. I could see the realness of everything adding something to it. But when it comes to like, if you're still going to do like cartoon things like Mulan without blood, this is a story about a woman in war. How are you going to show war without blood? I don't see what the purpose was if they weren't going to depict it in a more severe and serious way. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I think it tried to have his cake and eat it too, so to speak.
Yeah, I am. I concur that I am happy that it didn't do well. I do wish that that a different movie, maybe one with less POC, would have done bad first. I know that it flopped hard in China. Chinese people, the Chinese audience, I guess, did not appreciate this movie. Like, they just didn't buy it. They didn't like it. It wasn't good. They didn't. And I feel bad for the people who worked hard on the movie. But it's also like, what did you expect? You have this movie based on one of the biggest Chinese, like, martyrs, I guess. And it's huge. They teach about her in school. Yeah, like, she has a poem that they teach about in school. And, like, these kids know the poem of, like, Mulan. But, like, you have this movie that's not even filmed in Chinese. It's filmed in English. So the kids who have to, like, watch this probably don't have the best English yet because they're children, and how many languages can they know?
Well, do they dub it in Chinese or
I feel
for
like
that audience?
They shouldn't. I feel like if it's a Chinese movie, then they should make it for a Chinese audience. And also, I heard that a lot of I'm not Chinese, obviously, but like I heard that a lot of like there's a phoenix that replaces Mushu,
Yeah.
Right?
Eddie Murphy,
right? And I guess they didn't even get the reference of the phoenix with Chinese culture, right? It's more of like a Western culture version of the phoenix applied in this Chinese tale. Like, I just feel like if they were going to make this movie about this Chinese girl with real Chinese people, then they should have done it with more Chinese influences. Like, hot take, they didn't even have Chinese writers. All of the writers were white. So now it comes across as like you people, just not you people, but like, you know, the writers of the movie just, I don't know how to explain it, like writing about their like Asian fantasies, you know? Because like they obviously didn't look too hard into any of these things because they got a lot of stuff wrong. They wrote it all in English, and they have a lot of Western values put into it for the time and now. So it's more like they took the story, made it into like a modern feminist tale, and then just rolled with it, I guess. But it's like, that's cool and whatever, because Mulan wasn't like an anti-feminist person, but it's also like it's not your story to tell kind of thing, you know? I don't know if any of that made sense. Just my impressions. Also, I want to say I did not see the movie.
I did not see the movie either, which, should we critique a movie we haven't seen?
I'm not critiquing
Probably
the
not.
movie. I'm just critiquing
the existence of the movie.
Yeah.
the entire reason for these things is not to, like, give the audience value. It's just to make money at the end of the day. So,
Yeah.
Like it's just literally a cash grab. That's what Lion King was. That's what Aladdin was. Like it's nothing we're actually asking for, but people are still seeing it and they keep making $1 billion. So I mean, we have to like look at the reason this movie exists through that frame. But then they did this thing with Mulan where it's like we actually want to make this one different. We want to make this one, you know, critically acclaimed and artistically sound. So, so I feel like the fact that they tried to dip a hand in both pots, like making a great movie and just making a cash grab that retells the same stories before, led to a lack of vision that didn't work in both directions. If you just did like exactly a 1998 Mulan cartoon live action, then people would be like, oh, this sucks. But at least the people would be like, yeah, no, I just want to see a live action version of that cartoon. And it'd be fine.
I guess, like, but if you knew what you were going in for, then what's the purpose of buying a ticket? I can just watch the movie I saw 22 years ago.
Well, that's what The Lion King was. And people still saw it. You know what I mean?
I thought people saw it more so to see what, like, the animation of these lines would look like, because it was semi-impressive. It was, like, weird to me, but everybody else was like, oh my god, this is great. And I was like, this looks like a lion. It looks lion-esque, but it's not a lion. And I thought that was weird. I couldn't get into the movie. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. I feel like Mulan could have worked if it was like a PG-13 movie. Like if they would have showed us the stuff that they're not going to show us. Like I would have, when I first heard that they were doing Mulan in a live action movie, and I was skeptical. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then they said that it wasn't going to be a musical. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's going to be great. I was picturing like Game of Thrones level stuff. Like Mulan's out there blowing stuff up with fireworks, slashing people's heads off as she's riding down the horses because she's in war. You know?
Can I remind you, this is a remake of Disney's 1998 Mulan.
I thought it was going to be like a more intense version of that story. But it's not.
Because you can't go all the way with it.
But they could have. I would have paid $30 to see a PG-13.
Do you think Little Sarah would have saw...
Little Sarah can watch the cartoon. Little Sarah doesn't have $30. I have $30.
But you're forgetting the reason they make these movies is so they can get $1 billion based off of an IP they don't have to put any creative juices into.
Look. Little Sarah's parents was about to pay money, $30, so that she, little Johnny... each of them and then the little baby on the way could see the same movie. I would have bought it for me alone, maybe you, and then convinced my friends who have jobs and their own $30 to buy the movie.
Well, I think we have to keep in mind, too, that this movie was never made with the intention of releasing it the way it released. It was made with the intention of releasing it like every other Disney remake. But here's why this failed probably where the other one succeeded. If you just release Mulan to theaters... people are just going to go and buy a ticket and see it immediately, and by the time all the bad press gets out, it doesn't matter. People are just curious now to watch it, so they'll buy a ticket. But if you put a $30 premium price tag on top of a subscription for your like home video release, it's immediately less enticing. So I think it's just really more of a format thing, which is the reason they failed. And I think they just won't do it again, but they'll still keep making these remakes.
Yeah, I can see that. Sorry, I had to think about it. I don't know, because I don't know. I think, if anything, it's just going to stop them from doing straight-to-home releases on movies. Because this movie, in their mind, was going to be like, it was a bullseye. That's why they did this. Because they're like, everyone's going to want to see this movie. This movie's going to be great. Everyone's going to, like, rush home the day of to watch it. You know, they're like, this is going to make money. That's why we put $400 million into this. We want at least $2,500 million. That's not a number, but you know, they wanted more money. And because they were counting on it. I feel like because they were counting on this and it flopped, not only nationally, but internationally, I feel like it's just going to stop them from doing stuff like this again.
What, the whole remake thing or what?
The whole remake thing?
Yeah, all right, well, like, what are they stopping doing?
I think it's going to stop them from... No. I think it's just going to stop them from releasing things not in theaters.
Oh, yeah, totally.
So if we ever get quarantined again, which, Lord forbid, but if we do, I think it's going to be more so like... oh, well, Disney's not going to release any movies from now on. But if they would have started this with, like, a movie that people were looking forward to, like that Spider-Man movie that they said they were going to release.
This is a movie they were looking forward to.
like a different one, like that Spider-Man movie that they said they were going to release. But like Soul, Disney Pixar's movie, that Pixar movie, that's getting released in like November 20th, I think, onto Disney Plus.
Is it like with the premium access thing or
I think so. I think they're doing the same thing they're doing with Mulan.
So
$30 for this.
So is it $30 for just the movie or $30 for any premium access movie?
I don't know. I thought it was just the movie. I'm pretty sure it's the movie.
Okay, because that's like a bit ridiculous, no?
But it's the same as going. The $30 is like a family going to a movie theater, not including popcorn and snacks.
Yeah, I mean, if you split it 3 ways, it'll match up equivalent to whatever you'd spend at a theater, except you get to watch it as many times as you want.
Yeah.
But it's just, I feel like there's a psychological component to releasing it for $30 to buy that kind of turns you off because you're in a home theater setting where you can just buy Netflix and see as many movies as you want.
I think it's supposed to be like an experience. Like, I get to go to the movies and have this movie shown in my house so I don't actually have to leave.
But what's the premium feeling of that experience?
I'm like the first person to see this movie. And it's also like I get to see like the premiere of this movie, but I don't have to wait. At least this is for me. Like, I get to be the first person to see the premiere of this movie, but I don't have to go at midnight to see a midnight showing. Like, I could just wake up in the morning and watch it and just not go online until after I see the movie, and then just go online after and be like, oh my God, that was great.
Well, the convenience is great, but you're also getting a worse experience too.
What, being at home?
Well, yeah, obviously.
I disagree. I kind of think that, like, because we saw Onward here
That was
and not
great,
in
yeah.
the theater. I thought that was, I didn't mind it. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing Soul, the Pixar movie, at home for the first time. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like I can pause it and go to the bathroom, come back. Like, if they released Endgame at home, I would have loved it. I had to go to the bathroom, and I held it for like an hour and a half. Because I was like, okay, it's been like 90 minutes. I guess I can hold it. Not knowing that I should have just went to the bathroom when Doctor Strange evaporated or whatever.
Doctor Strange evaporated?
I don't know. I don't remember which one of the pointless Avengers stayed. But that's what I was going to say. I feel like instead of doing this movie specifically, they should have done like a Marvel movie. Because like they instead of pushing back Phase 4, whatever phase they're on, they should have just started the movie that they were going to release now. I know that they're not done filming Galaxy's Edge Part 3, at least I think that's what's right. I don't remember. But I know that they had a movie that was pretty much done in post and ready for release. I think it was the Spider-Man one that was coming out, or Black Widow. One of those. I feel like they should have just released that because people would have paid for that. Like, you would get the people who are like hardcore Marvel fans, hardcore comic fans. Like, you'd get the families, especially if it was like Black Widow, you'd get like all of the super SJW women who are like, yeah, female movie, you know? No?
No, yeah. That's what all people who want to watch female movies sound like.
I mean, I'm just saying you would get people who are like, I need to support this movie so that they know to make more of these movies because people like me support it and we want the money. Whereas this movie was like, oh, Mulan's cute. I would watch that. Or they'd be like us and be like, well, I'm just going to wait and see what people think about it tomorrow and then buy it. Like, but if Black Widow was released, I admittedly probably wouldn't see it that day because I just wouldn't. I wouldn't feel the need to. But I would definitely watch a couple spoiler-free reviews and then just be like, okay, let's go. let's watch it. Let's get it. I didn't feel the need to do that here.
Nope. I think there's something too, also just the fact that it's a remake, you literally have a better version of the movie available to watch for free. You know what I mean?
Oh, you said a better version?
Well, yeah. Like
I feel that way about Aladdin.
Yeah. Even though I kind of liked Aladdin a bit more.
I don't know.
But
the
like
1.5 speed was weird.
The 1.5 music video speed.
That was weird. It was weird.
It's a Guy Ritchie movie.
Okay, whatever.
that's
why
his
are
thing.
they getting all these people who are like actual people? Watch them do like, I don't know. They're gonna do like Princess of the Frog next, and Spike Lee is gonna direct it. Like, why are they doing this? It's like the most.
That would be I would love to see that movie. I just want you to know that.
It would be so dark. It would be like half clip art, half like Tiana running around New Orleans. It's like in modern day, but also the 20s at the same time.
From the director of Black Klansman, Princess and the Frog.
Okay, anyway, we got way off topic. So we're going to talk about cuties. Topic 2.
I don't know what this is.
Okay, so
I don't know how to add to this conversation.
I'm going to tell you what it is. I talked to you about it a little bit before. I was expecting Phil DeFranco to talk about it, but he didn't.
Oh,
like,
is
it's
this
been
the
a
Netflix
whole
thing?
week, Phil. What are you doing? Yeah.
Okay.
So Cuties is a show for those of you who don't know, but I'm assuming if you are here, especially if you clicked here, you know what it is. Hello. Cuties is a show on Netflix that's a French film that is supposed to talk about how kids are overexploited in, like, the media industry, and it's supposed to give you, like, and it's supposed to, people say it's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable so that way you don't, you can, like, wake up, so you're woke now. You see that, like, oh, these kids are being over-sexualized, like, you didn't see that before, but you're like, there needs to be a call to action or whatever, like, this needs to stop. You know, that's like the thesis of the movie. But the problem is that it exploits children by to get that point across. You know, so there's like a little 11-year-old girl who who takes a picture of her boob, and or whose boob is shown, and then there's one who, like, takes a picture of her private area, and etc. And, like, they're all, like, twerking in the camera. And then production for the movie also had 600 girls audition for the lead role, or one of the lead roles, who